The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Now the birth of Jesus took place in this way. When his mother Mary had been betrothed to Joseph, before they came together, she was found to be with child of the Holy Spirit, and her husband Joseph, being a just man and unwilling to put her to shame, resolved to send her away quietly. But as he considered this, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, Joseph, son of David, do not fear to take Mary as your wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Spirit. She will bear a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. All this took place to fulfill what the Lord had spoken by the prophet. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and his name shall be called Emmanuel, which means God is with us. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise be Jesus and Mary, now and forever. Today, we, the Franciscans of the Immaculate, celebrate, well, we have restored an ancient feast, and a very significant and important one, that of the Espousals of the Blessed Virgin Mary to Saint Joseph. That moment when Saint Joseph and Mary were legally married. Now, the ancient custom was you go through a ceremony in which you would legally marry, which was then called betrothal. And that is what is referred to at the beginning of this gospel passage we just heard. But at that point, after the ceremony, the groom would go back to his own home, and the bride would go back to the home with her parents. They did not yet live together. They would usually wait a year, and then the groom would come and take his wife, and then begin to live together. And so this gospel passage we have just read, we see that moment after the espousals had taken place, now a year later, thereabouts. Certainly, as we can gather through also the Gospel of St. Luke, 3 months after the Annunciation. So already, even by the Annunciation, the espousals had already taken place. But, of course, St. Joseph knew nothing of the Annunciation. He was yet with Mary. They were legally married. They already were. But they had not yet come together to live together. And that is how it is. 3 months, as St. Luke points out in the episode of the Annunciation, after the Annunciation, Our Lady went in haste. She went right away. She didn't wait, to St. Elizabeth, who was now in her 6th month with St. John the Baptist. All right. And it wasn't until after the birth of St. John that Our Lady returned to Nazareth. And then St. Joseph came to claim her, to take her. Now by this time, it was clear she was with child. And thus begins the anxieties of St. Joseph that are recounted here in this gospel passage. But what we actually celebrate today is that moment of the first ceremony where they were actually legally married. All of this, of course, to provide the protector, the guardian, and the putative, as we call it, father of for our Lord and for our Blessed Lady, those two most precious treasures anyone could be given to watch over, guard, and take care of. And so we celebrate that moment when the two were married to bring about this protection. And note, it's St. Luke that says, I think, wait. Oh, no, it's Matthew right here, and we just heard it. Joseph was a just man, so he followed the commandments. He lived according to the will of God. Right? He was, as it were, already saint, always for the will of God. And so it is. He was seeking to, he planned, I should say, to set Mary aside, to divorce, all right? Not for any selfishness whatsoever. He did not distrust Mary at all. He trusted her integrity and her purity. That wasn't it. But because he didn't want to place her, get her in trouble with the authorities, who, once they found out she was with child, and the child wasn't St. Joseph's, would have stoned her to death for adultery. He was protecting Our Lady. When then the archangel came to him in the dream, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife. To take Mary, your wife. So you already noticed she's already his wife. Do not fear to take her. And then it is the angel who reveals to her what has taken place in the womb of Mary. It is that the child that is in her womb is of the Holy Spirit. He is God. In fact, that's the last thing we see here. He's to be named Emmanuel. God is with us. This child is the Son of God. He's God. And we note St. Joseph's response here as well is an immediate obedience. Always and only the will of God. No matter how difficult it may appear to be, right? No matter how maybe even repugnant it is to us, always obedience to the will of God. And that is always what is best for us. And so we take here with us what a complete trust in God in all things, always. Complete trust in Him. Even if it seems impossible, nothing is impossible with God. Complete trust in Him, and then a complete obedience to His will in all things. And it's already expounded for us in the Ten Commandments. We need only follow. Complete obedience. Then we know we are doing the will of God. That is what is best for us, and that is what will bring us to eternal, everlasting happiness. Praise be Jesus and Mary, now and forever.